Hey, what's up, everybody? Today is May 2nd, 2024. So I thought I would share with you guys most of my book acquisitions for the first third of the year, 2024. I probably bought more than this, but these are the ones that I found. Got a big stack. I'm just going to talk about all these briefly and some of my new interests. So yeah, let's get into it. First up, we got Postmodernist Fiction by McHale. He's a professor of something. I read the first few pages, haven't gotten back to it, but it seems like an explanation on what postmodernist fiction is and some examples. Seems kind of advanced. I've always wondered what the difference between modernism and postmodernism is, and I watched some YouTube videos and looked up like Wikipedia entries, and I could kind of tell you what like postmodern literature is, like Vonnegut, Pynchon, David Foster Wallace, that kind of thing, like the weird stuff. And modernisms like Virginia Woolf, James Joyce, those cats. So I just wanted to learn more. So I don't know when I'll read this fully, but it looked interesting. So Postmodernist Fiction, McHale. Next up, we got Earthly Powers by Anthony Burgess. This is kind of considered Burgess's magnum opus. I know Clockwork Orange is the famous one, but this is a doorstopper. It's like 600 something pages. Big epic work. I'm about 150 pages in. I bought this in Boston last weekend at this cool used bookstore called Commonwealth Books. It's right in downtown, right in the city. You hardly ever see Burgess in used bookstores, so I had to get it. And this Europa edition, I never heard of this publisher, but they make a fine copy. I like this. I like the cover. I like the pages. The font is, the font size is small, but due to the actual font type, I don't mind. I usually hate small font, but this is a unique font. I think it works for me. So, Earthly Powers, Anthony Burgess. I love Burgess. This is my fourth Burgess I've read. Everything else has been great. So, read Anthony Burgess. Next up, got Thomas Kempis. I don't know if that's how you say it. The Imitation of Christ. This is a buttermilk penguin classic. It's probably from the 80s. I haven't checked. But Thomas Kempis was one of the great Catholic spiritual writers of the second millennium. Is that what we call it? Yeah, he worked in he wrote in the 15th century. I know this is one of the big Catholic works, so I wanted to check it out. Other than St. Thomas Aquinas and St. Augustine, I feel like this is one of the big ones that at least Catholics should read, just from like historical texts, and I guess the Bible too, but by people. Yeah, so Imitation of Christ, Thomas Kempis. Switching gears a little, At the Existentialist Cafe by Sarah Bakewell. I've heard great things about this, and Albert Camus is one of my favorite authors. I've also read Jean-Paul Sartre a little bit. And while I'm not an existentialist, I do find it interesting. And since I have enjoyed the fiction of existentialism and a little nonfiction, although I had to put down Myth of Sisyphus because I did not understand it. Well, I didn't. Maybe later. But this seems like a pretty, I hate saying that. I hate adverbs. This seems like a simple, maybe, introduction to the major existentialists. It's got Sartre, Simone de Beauvoir, Albert Camus, Martin Heidegger, Edmund Husserl, Karl Jaspers, and Maurice Merleau-Ponty. I think they're all featured. I don't really know the format of this book, but it seems like a great introduction. So I'd like to read this year. We'll see. Existentialism's not like top of my list, but it is an interest. Next up, we got the Penguin Deluxe edition of Voltaire's Candide. This might be my third copy of Candide. I've got the Viking Portable Voltaire, and I've also got Candide, Zadig, and other stories. But I don't actually want to read Voltaire. I just wanted to read Candide, so I got this. I found this used. I just want to see what it's about. See if it's funny or witty or just nasty. I don't know too much about it, but I heard it's a decent story. So, Candide by Voltaire. More philosophy. Got Plato, The Last Days of Socrates. This has 4 of Plato's dialogues in it. It's a Penguin classic. I actually went out and bought this. It's got Euthyphro, Apology, Crito, and Phaedo. So I haven't read any Plato yet. It's kind of like the foundational philosophic, or he's the foundational philosopher, ancient Greek times. So I always get bogged down in the pre-Socratics when I should really just read a little bit of Plato. So looking to get to this year. Haven't read any Greek philosophy, actually. Unless you count Epictetus, who was Roman Greek, but I won't count him. It was Roman times. So Plato, 4 dialogues. Got this at Barnes & Noble. Yeah. More philosophy, maybe a little linguistic action. I don't know for certain. Language, Truth, and Logic by A.J. Ayer. Got this in Boston last weekend. I don't know too much about this, but I'll read a little off the back cover. When talking partial contents, elimination of metaphysics, function of philosophy, nature of philosophic analysis, the a priori, truth and probability, critique of ethics and theology, the self and the common world, solutions of outstanding philosophical disputes. So I just thought the title was interesting. I'm not sure if I'll read this anytime soon. But I'm interested in philosophy, linguistics, ontology, epistemology, all the big things. Logic, especially. I need to read an introductory book to logic first, but this one just caught my eye. No plans to read it soon. Another pickup from last weekend, Key Terms in Linguistics. This is a reference book of terms in linguistics. As I just mentioned, I'm interested in linguistics, and I'm planning to read soon A Mouthful of Air by Anthony Burgess. It's a nonfiction work on language, especially English, but I think all language. But I just thought I would get this reference book since it was on the used shelf. Maybe I'll poke through it, learn some things. We'll see. Key terms in linguistics. Okay, second to last. Picked this up yesterday at the library. They were selling it. Stephen King, fairy tale, hardcover. I've read a decent amount of Stephen King, maybe like 15 books. I haven't read a bad one yet. Really like the Dark Tower series. So I'm collecting some of the hardcovers as I find them. Not seeking them out, but I'll pick them up if I do find them. I didn't read Fairy Tale when it came out, but the ratings seemed okay, so I'll check it out eventually. And last book, we have Epistemology, The Big Questions. So this is a collection of source material on epistemology, certain factors of it, what is knowledge, how are beliefs justified, what is the structure of knowledge, what is naturalized epistemology, what is truth, blah, 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 blah. It's got a bunch of works from philosophers. The first one being part of the Meditations by René Descartes. But I think a lot of them are contemporary philosophy. I think only in the past century epistemology has really taken on a new form and really been explored. From what I've seen in research, which is, I haven't researched much, so I don't actually know. This is a big work. I don't think I'll read through it anytime soon. Maybe poke through some of the essays or whatnot. But yep, interested in epistemology, the study of knowledge, how we can find things out. So, yep, those are the books that I have acquired recently. A lot of philosophy, linguistics, some other novels too. But yeah, thought I would share just some of my acquisitions. So, have a good day.